Hello and welcome to this snip where I'll show you how to secure your AWS account. In this snip we're going to cover switching on multi-factor authentication for your root user. We'll look at assigning privileges to an IAM user, creating a small policy and assigning it to that user, and also creating a user via the AWS CLI. So to start with, we're going to enable MFA on the root user. So if you open the console and we'll navigate to Identity and Access Management. So in the dashboard for IAM, you'll see Activate MFA on your root account. If you click on Manage MFA, we're going to choose a virtual MFA device. I'm going to use the Google Authenticator, which is already installed on my Android phone. There are various options for iPhones, and also there is the option to use a hardware multi-factor authentication device. So I've already deployed the app onto my phone, so I can skip this step. Now that I've scanned that code, I need to enter the authentication code from the Google Authenticator. We now have to wait about 30 seconds until another code loads up before we can actually activate this. And you see we've associated the device with our AWS account. So let's try this out. Now we can log out and log back in. Now we're prompted for our password again. Then we click sign in. Now we're prompted for the MFA code. So I have to look at my phone now to retrieve this code. And that's us back into the console. So if I go back into Identity and Access Management, and you'll see we have a tick against Activate MFA on your root account. Now, best practice states that we shouldn't use the root account for day-to-day tasks within AWS. You should actually create another user or users under IAM. I'm going to create another user, and the role will be to specifically manage EC2 instances. I'm going to create a group so that we can add users in the future, and then we will try and log in with that particular user account. Call this group EC2 admins. And in here we'll filter on EC2. And I found the one I want to use is Amazon EC2 full access. And that's our group created. So now we go into users, add user, and we'll call this user EC2 console user. And you'll see access type. So we're going to select AWS Management Console Access. And we'll let AWS auto-generate a password for us. I'll uncheck user must create a new password at next sign in at the moment, just for this demonstration. So permission wise, we'll add this user to the EC2 admins group. And then we review our choices. So quite happy with that, and we'll just click create user. So now you'll see we're actually given the URL this user will use. They can sign in at, so we'll copy that. We've also got the option to send the user an email, and that will include the link and their new username. So we'll just switch to another browser. We'll paste that in. And this time you'll see a slightly different logon page. So now you see our account ID appears, then it's the IAM username, and then it prompts for the password. So let's go back and get those details. So it's EC2 console user, and we'll copy the password out. Now we can sign in. So you'll see near the top right, we can see our EC2 console user at, and after the at sign, you see our ID number. So let's go in, let's have a look at S3. Now you remember, we assigned this user account just access to the EC2 service, and you'll see access is denied. Let's have a look at something else. We can try and have a look at billing, and there you see you'll need permissions. So we can't view any of this. Okay. However, we go into EC2, and we do have access to this. So I'll just log out of this account just now. And if we move back over to where our root user is logged in, we can close this off. So next we can have a look at policies. So we might have made a decision that we want the EC2 console user to actually see the billing section. We can make our own little policy or search for an existing policy that we can use. So in this case, I'll create a policy. We'll choose a service, and I'm going to choose billing. You can switch to deny permissions, but we're going to allow. So I'm going to say that we can see and use all of the billing section in this particular policy. You can also view this JSON. Back to the visual editor. Click on Review Policy, where we can name it. So we can call it Text SNIP. We can also enter a description, and it gives us a summary of the permissions that we've granted. And we'll just click on Create Policy, and you'll see Text SNIP has been created. So we'll go back to Groups. We'll go into EC2 Admins, go into Permissions, and we'll attach our new policy. So now you'll see that we have the Amazon EC2 full access, and then we have Text SNIP attached to this particular group. So now what we need to do is go back and sign in under EC2 console user and see if we can see the billing section now. So we log in under EC2 console user and put in the password. Now you'll see it's still coming up with a permissions error. So I've created the policy, but there's another thing I haven't done in the particular section regarding billing. You need to actually grant access for billing to IAM users. So if I go back and I choose my account, and here you'll see in this section is IAM user and role access to billing information. It's currently deactivated. So I can just edit that, activate and update. So now go back across to this user. Let's have a look in the dashboard, and there you'll see I now have access. So we'll just sign out of this account now. Sign out. The next stage is you can actually create users from the command line. I've got the AWS CLI installed, and I can just show you how to create a user. So the first command we put in is AWS IAM for the name of the service, and then the actual action, which is create user. We're going to create a user called CLI user2. So the next command we're going to run will add the user to the group that we created, EC2 admins. So again, it's AWS IAM, create login profile, then the username, and we've assigned it a password. So we can now go back to the console and try and log in with this account. You'll also notice the URL for signing in is the ID, then .signin.aws.amazon.com. If we go back into the AWS console, we can actually also check this user has been added correctly. And there you'll see CLI user 2. You can go ahead and have a wee look. And if we go back in now, we can sign in under this new account. And there you'll see we're logged back in with that account that was created from the command line. Thank you for watching this snip.